Hi guys, let's talk about the beginning of May. All right, this is the way these videos are going to go. I'm front loading all of the individual signs with the astrology. I'm time stamping. I'm going to time stamp for the astrology. The astrology and the aspects are going to be the same for all the signs. So if you're watching for your sun or your rising, your moon, your Venus, whatever it is now, and you want to check one of your other signs, just go into the description box and you could just click forward to ahead to the tarot portion, because there are going to be 3 sections, okay, for each of the signs. So there's going to be astrology, and then there's going to be career, and then there's going to be a relationship read. All right, so each of those sections are going to be timestamped. Well, the astrology won't be because I'm starting with that, but then I'm going to timestamp for the career and the relationship just for your ease, and so you don't have to sit through the whole video and all the astrology each time and go searching for all of that stuff, okay? So I hope that helps you guys out. But I always like to start with the astrology, guys. You know, my heart is with tarot, but it's also with astrology, right? So I can't separate the two. So I want to just talk about, we're just going to be dealing with the first week of May right now, okay? And so we had some big aspects coming on, and hallelujah, May is going to be so much better than flipping April. It really is. We have a very, very positive full moon happening on the 7th, so I just wanted to talk about that. Now, on the 3rd, on May 3rd, that's the only little bit of a, I'm just going to call it a little bit of a wonky energy. It's Venus square Neptune. Venus is great. Venus, obviously, we talked a lot about Venus yesterday in my Venus video. I'm going to link that above and in the description box, by the way, having to do with Venus retrograde. But Venus is going to be square Neptune. And remember, Neptune is all about illusory and not feeling firmly footed. So we have Venus in there, which is about love and having to do with money and having to do with our self-esteem. So it's like feeling foggy about those things. It's not going to be a very long energy that we're going to have to deal with, and everything else is really positive, but let's just give it a little, a little attention, just so that if you guys are feeling this way, you know that that's what it is, and you're not like losing your mind or spiraling down into a deeper state of depression or whatever you might be feeling right now, which, you know, guys, a lot of people are dealing with those, anxiety, depression. You know, it's a weird world we live in right now, right? All right, so Venus square Neptune on May 3rd. So Venus is, again, it's about love, money, self-esteem in general, but especially love and money. And Neptune is that ruler of the 12th house. It's Pisces house. It's the house of self-undoing. And that could easily make us, on the one hand, feel very victimized, right? And on the other hand, very unclear, since Neptune really is this ungrounded energy, and it really is trying to look at life through like a dirty window or a fog, kind of, right? So there's just not going to be a lot of clarity in the beginning of May, having to do with love and having to do with career. So just know that, okay? Because what ends up happening is, and the reason I say fog, because you know when you look through a fog or a dirty window, you kind of see what's there, but not really. And then what do we do as human beings? We end up filling in what we don't understand, and we fill in information to satisfy ourselves, but we can often be wrong in this energy. So just be mindful of that. So Venus square Neptune transit can lead to feelings of insecurity about yourself, even how you look, guys, like how you look, you know, because Venus is about beauty. It's about the external. So it's possible that you might feel that others are looking at you or thinking about you in a strange way, but please know that this isn't real. And any impressions like this are just going to be very distorted and won't be matching reality. So this wonky, I'm just going to call it poor self-image, can easily lead to relationship difficulties, right? Where you maybe think your partner is looking at you or thinking about you or seeing you in a certain light, and you're not feeling comfortable with it. And this could be a situation where you might be projecting some insecurities onto your relationship. And in the same way, you could also experience disappointments in your love life by forming a distorted image of someone else. And we've been kind of talking about that in the past couple of videos, where we end up projecting onto somebody what we really want them to be, and rather than maybe who they are or who they're even capable of being, and then that can end up leading to frustration. So if you're going through that, you know, just be mindful. It's just Venus square Neptune. And there's also a tendency to over-idealize romantic interest at this time, right? Really ignoring the obvious flaws that are kind of in plain sight because we have rose-colored glasses on. And, you know, I mean, we talked a lot with the Venus retrograde. as soon as the shadow starts, Venus is going to be like, here, put these rose-colored glasses on. So we just have to be a little careful of that. But regardless, situations leave you susceptible, having to do with love, to major disappointments, where you're either disappointed or maybe you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you're being treated like a doormat in some way. But this is the thing. If you're in a healthy relationship, this is really, really short-lived, because assuming that if you're in a relatively normal, whatever the hell that means, but relationship where there's mutual respect, you're going to be able to talk about how you feel. So there's going to be that open communication. So you might be feeling it for a minute, but it's nothing that communication's not going to be able to solve. Now, if you're not in a really trusting relationship, this could be a little more problematic, and matters of trust can easily become an issue. And guys, I do want to say, and this is no judgment at all, but if you're thinking about starting an affair at this time, depending on where you live, depending on the quarantine situation, and I'm even talking about like online kind of affairs, not smart, since it's going to be really difficult to hide and you're going to get busted. So, because remember, Venus goes shadow and goes retrograde. It doesn't go retrograde till the middle of the month, but it's going to be going shadow to shadow the middle of the month. And that's where the lights are just going to start to become brighter and brighter and brighter, having to do with anything that's like shady, okay? So if you're not in a relationship or a solid relationship, you can feel this incredible need for honest tenderness, just an affection, right? So your desire for this is going to end up lifting these energetic blocks that you may be having that you don't even realize, because you don't even realize when we put these energetic blocks up, right? These energetic do not disturb, right? Because my heart's still broken, or do not disturb because I'm choosing to still have feelings for somebody else. Those are going to kind of be lifted, but you have to stay conscious of this very confusing Neptunian influence. I'm not saying not to get involved with anybody, just be careful. Again, even like I mentioned, having to do with Venus retrograde, that reality is actually what it is, and that you're not filling in or seeing things that aren't there. Because it would be great if you can wait until after this transit before committing yourself in a new way, or being too trusted to somebody new. And that goes for the newness element, not obviously if you're in a relationship again. Poor self-esteem and lack of self-discipline in this energy big time. So it can be really difficult to stay on that diet, to maybe not drink so much, any kind of partying, anything like that. Shopping therapy, getting online, right, and doing some shopping therapy, anything that makes you feel good. You just more, it's going to be harder for you to control this. You're definitely going to be more susceptible to the depressive influences of alcohol during this energy, and more susceptible to poisoning in general, guys. I mean, I'm not a fear monger. I don't like that. Also, I just want to take this opportunity to say, stay away from fear-mongering sites. These people who are just like all about doom and gloom and everything. Guys, life is cyclical. We are human beings. We are strong. We're resilient. We're going to get past all of this stuff. And if you hyper-focus on any of the negative aspects having to do with readings, or any of the, the negative news that you hear, like attracts like, right? So you don't want to really swim in negativity. You just don't want to do that. All right. But that being said, I do have to remind us, right, that Venus being in square with Neptune does rule disease, right? It's a Pisces energy, and viruses, right? Anything that kind of like hides sort of underneath the surface. So you just want to be a little careful now, because addiction is definitely more likely. Like if you were to dabble in drugs, it's much easier in this energy to become addicted. If you weren't a big drinker beforehand, but you're starting to drink more, that maybe you're out of work or working differently, it's the energy is like can really suck you down that rabbit hole. So just be careful of anything like that, any kind of potential overdoing. Let's just leave it there. Okay, so now let's go on to a couple of things that are way more, if you want to say, positive and less challenging. Not that one's going to be that challenging, because it's not going to be that long-lived, but that's the most challenging of the week. So we're going to have Sun conjunct Mercury on May 4th. So this is going to put a focus on your thinking and communications. You're going to be very, very busy mentally. We're all going to be very busy mentally. All right. Your mind will be on, what idea is going to favor you the most? What path is going to bring you where you really want to go? Really kind of feeling very comfortable making decisions in this energy, and as far as like, particularly having to do with the pragmatics of your life, right? So I just feel like, clearing out paperwork and bills. You're going to be receiving letters and sending emails, and a lot of us are going to start feeling a little more ready to socially distance and do it responsible, but to get out around town, even if it's just for like short little trips, we're going to start to feel ready to do that. Because Mercury rules communication, thinking patterns, rationality, reasoning, right? Remember, Mercury rules Gemini, but also rules Virgo. And Virgo is like a very pragmatic sign. It's like, all right, what do we have to do? So you're really going to be in that space. Also, primary and secondary education, your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, short distance, transport, like I mentioned, news and information. These things are all ruled by Mercury, right? And so the sun is hanging in there with these ideas. So you're probably going to be talking a lot to some family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, doing a lot of exchange having to do with education. Those of us who are in higher ed, who are teachers, we're getting ready for our end of the semester. Those, our students are getting ready for studying for finals, or doing those, in my case, those final essays and all of that. So lots of busyness there. You're going to be just very fast, lively, adaptable, very almost in an unemotional and curious way. You're just going to be like sucking in information. So I really like it. You're going to want to, just have conversations on topics that interest you, because hello, that's Mercury. It's the intellect, right? It's all of that. So this is a great time to make plans to start business deals, to bargain and sell. This is a great week to do a bit to engage in a business deal. It really, really is. Even though Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Venus is going to, did I say Mercury? Venus is going to be going retrograde in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury in the middle of the month. But you could start something here that you've already begun the process on, in particular. Especially if you've already, brand spanking new, maybe not so much. But if you've been thinking about it, really good energy to do that. Then on the 7th, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. We like when the planets have sex. It's good for us. It's very benefic. So this is good for relaxation, creativity, communication, anything spiritual. So for those of you who are going through, Libras in particular, going to be going through this in this energy, like spirituality pursuits, thinking about things, looking at life in a different way. Great energy to be doing that. Your words can be very soothing and can actually become healing to others, to each other. There's just going to be this sense of calming about this. All of your senses become very acute, enabling you to pick up a lot of extra information through your intuition, right? Because Mercury communication and Neptune rules Pisces, that, the eldest water sign. It's about intuition full force. So you might even be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams, through very serendipitous circumstances, but through your higher consciousness. Really nice. Chance encounters, hearing from somebody you haven't heard from in a while. Great time to do anything creative. I mean, anything from writing, artwork, anything differently that you do. We could be creative with anything that we do. So it's just a very, how do I want to say, a time of epiphanies and beautiful rolling out of these seeds that you've been cultivating, and your subconscious are going to pop up to your conscious mind, and you're really going to want to really push things forward. So I really like that. You're going to feel so ready for socializing in this energy. Absolutely. And relationships are really going to benefit in this energy as well. Very compassionate, very spiritual. There's a spiritual and compassionate element about this transit, so I do like it. Now we have to talk about the last thing that I want to mention for the week. Scorpio full moon on Thursday the 7th is the first positive moon phase for 6 weeks. Yes. This has a very spiritual, a very healing, a very compassionate influence, because Mercury sextiling Neptune in there as well. It's just like, wow. You know, in Scorpio is that deep water sign ruled by Neptune, which is all about changes and transformation and allowing cycles to end to allow beautiful cycles to begin. Now, that doesn't mean the ending of things. It means the ending of a cycle. So it doesn't have to mean the ending of that relationship, or it doesn't have to mean totally the ending of that job. It's going to resonate with everyone a little differently. But generally, people are going to be more sympathetic and understanding in this energy, and it'll make you more sensitive and better able to understand any areas that you have conflicting emotions in, which isn't that awesome, right? Clarity is always a friend, right? But importantly, it's really going to help you to see a brighter future, you know, which is awesome. Things are just going to start to feel and look a little brighter, like you see the light at the end of the tunnel for, you know, the end of the virus, right? They're calling the new normal, whatever the heck you want to call it, is really going to start to make sense. And we're going to start to feel a little more comfortable about taking those chances and doing things responsibly as a people, you know, responsibly. You know, trusting that people are just not going to be irresponsible, you know. But what does this full moon mean? Sun opposite moon brings your home, your family, intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, you know, even if you're working from home, you know, which working from home, I find it kind of like weird to balance out, like, am I working? Am I not working? I'm like putting dinner on while I'm like working, and it's just like, it's strange. So you're going to be looking at that balance, not in a bad way, in a good way, in like a problem solving way. So I do like that. And what you need versus what you want, right? A lot of us are going to be in that phase, creating this inner tension and external pressures, or any area where there's a creation of internal versus external pressures is going to be looked at right now, and in a really positive way. Now, you just want to be careful. For a minute, this could lead to conflict and crisis that drain your energy, but it's only because you're doing some really good active thinking. So it's more of like a mental kind of drain, but it's not bad. It's good because it's towards something good. But if you're feeling extra tired, I always say that in full moon energies, you know, unless you have natal retrogrades in, you know, like a Cancer energy in the 4th house, you might feel really more energetic during a full moon. But generally speaking, most people feel kind of tired. You know, you just do. So let's talk about a couple of aspects going on here. We have the full moon opposite Mercury. This makes the understanding and communication, your feelings, a major theme in this phase. Inner conflicts between your thoughts and feelings might occur. You might feel kind of polarized in your thinking. That's completely natural now. It really, really is, because the moon is I feel, and Mercury is communication. So it's what you feel deep inside, and it's how you're communicating with the external world. But this is good, because this is really going to be helping you to get in touch with areas that there are imbalance. You know, misunderstandings and arguments can happen, but the harmonious aspect of Neptune reduces this. So even though that might be happening where there might be some conflict, Neptune comes in and just like, okay, kids, you know, I'm the dreamer. Let's just take a deep breath and just meditate. You know, I'm joking, but you know what I mean. It kind of soothes the influence a little bit, which I do like. This is a really good moon for spending time in reflection, talking to really good friends about how you feel, getting in touch with where you sense you're holding back in life, whether that has to do with your job or relationship, with your sense of self, anything. Now, this full moon trine Neptune heightens your emotions, imagination, creativity. This reduces anxiety and makes misunderstandings less likely. You know, and if disagreements do occur, this harmonious and compassionate and very spiritual influence is going to incite forgiveness. It's going to incite cooler heads prevailing. It's just going to diffuse things really quickly, and which is great because we haven't had an influence like this in a while, to be honest. You may dream up or fantasize about an ideal partner, but are just as likely to meet somebody special now. So whether it's in your fantasy mind or in real life, relationships formed during this new moon phase have a very soulmate feel to them. Very soulmate feel. So friends may come to you for advice during this energy as well, a shoulder to cry on. You know, maybe you're dealing with some friends who are, you know, struggling right now, either with the virus or with money. You know, and again, I say that as a New Yorker because a lot of us know people who have the virus now because we're just so slammed with it. But I know a lot of you guys are super fortunate in places where it's been better contained. But regardless, your caring, sympathetic side is very enhanced during this new moon energy. A lot of empathy, a lot of caring, and it's going to come very naturally, so really nice. And then finally, we have Mercury sextiling Neptune. It's virtually exact. So this is occurring just 3 minutes before the full moon, so very close there. So this positive aspect far outweighs the challenging influence of the full moon opposite Mercury. Any of those little snafus that I said about communication, this outweighs it. So yeah, just generally people are going to be good during this energy. Very sympathetic, understanding. You're going to be very sensitive, especially those of you who, I don't know, as we say, are awake, are in touch, are spiritually aware. You're going to feel very sensitive to the vibrational energies going on now, to other people in your environment. Man, especially those water signs, right? Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you're going to be vibing the energy a lot around you. Not in a bad way, in a good way. You're going to be able to sort of, and it's going to be helpful to the people in your life because you're going to be able to tap into your intuition in a way where you're just going to be able to sense if somebody needs something. Right? Which is really beautiful. So I do like this. And, you know, generally, we're all going to be feeling a more idealistic view of the world. Now, that has a lot to do with, okay, I mean, Mercury sextiling Neptune, but I have to say that also, you know, Venus is going to be retrograde. So there's going to be some, you know, sweet-colored rose juice thrown on everything, you know, right now, which is nice. You know, you could trust your feelings right now, guys. Seriously, like, we're all going to be feeling very sensitive. And trust your feelings, right? Because this aspect gives Mercury sextile Neptune gives very accurate intuition and perception skills, which I really like. A lot of you guys are going to be tapping into your psychic abilities where you're going to sense something before it happens. You're going to sense somebody reaching out to you before they do. You're going to be sensing these things. Lots of dreams here, lots of dreams with messages. So if you're remembering your dreams, really sit down with yourself quietly and think through. If you want, write it out, but figure out what message is trying to be sent to you, given to you in that moment. Yeah. I mean, I really like it. Very healing energy, very healing, great for romance, great for intimacy, great for feeling connected. And if nobody's in your life, you could be feeling super tight with your kids, really close to your friends, just very up in your feels in a positive way about everything. And again, last little bit, this is a great full moon. For those of you who are creatively inclined, artistically inclined, writers, anything, great pursuits for energy to pursue things like literature, drama, poetry, singing. In the same way, relaxation, yoga, meditation. Great. This is a great time, guys. For those of you who never believed in meditation, were never on board with it, didn't get it, couldn't relax well enough to stay in place to do it. I get it. We've all been there at one point, right? Before we learn the process. So this is a great energy to do it. And there are so many great videos that can help you through that. So why not, right? If you have the time, why not? All right, guys, that is the astrology section. So now I'm going to go pull signs. Pull cards for each of your signs, okay? See you guys on the other side. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, Sag, let's get right into your career. Already pre-shuffled these, but let's do another quick shuffle on camera. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and 10th house energy. If you know your 10th house placement, you have Sag on the 10th. This would be good for you to watch as well. Okay. Celtic cross spread for you guys. Let's see what's going on. Strength card crossed by the 2 of coins in reverse. Okay. Okay, Ace of Cups. So we're getting in, this is a new beginning, right? This is a new beginning for you. You're coming into this energy. I don't know if we should, I'm going to put both of these as your fear because they seriously came out together. Okay. So coming into this energy, we have the Ace of Cups. The Ace is always new, brand new. Cups is emotions. So this is something that's speaking to your heart space. But emotions is I feel. It's a water energy, right? So this is about, this could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. But Cancer energy is all about that metaphorical home space. Scorpio is all about transformation, and Pisces is about really wanting to go towards your dream. So this is about you coming from a space of there being a new beginning, right? Where you were in a place where there was a new beginning for you. Now, for some of you, this could be that you were in a job that was pretty new for you, that you really had a lot of high hopes for and very strong aspirations moving forward into. For others of you, it could be that you transitioned out of a job in order to chase your dream. So, these are general messages, but there's a newness here, definitely a newness about it. Now, the current situation right now, we have the Strength card. This is Leo energy, which is ruled by the Sun. And then we have the Two of Coins crossing. So this is the Two of Coins. I like this energy. In the upright, it means that people are recognizing you and you're getting your fair due. You're getting your talents recognized. And in the reverse, what it says is someone is getting in your way from being recognized. Somebody who can help you move forward is choosing not to. So there's someone who has the ability to actually help you step into this next space that you're really looking for, and they're choosing not to help you. You feel almost like your voice is not being heard loud enough, your talents are not being appreciated enough, and that could be for a whole host of reasons. Sometimes people will hold you back and down because they're jealous of you, maybe trumping them, or you may be, getting in their way of them being able to move forward, or them not wanting you to do even better than they are. So with the Strength energy, this is a Leo card. I feel like the reason you're being held back has something to do with ego. Someone being very, a lot of egotism at play here. Somebody being very caught up in their own agenda and blocking your ability to actually move forward in the way that you really want. Sagittarius, yeah. So we have crowning the energy here. We have the Moon card. Moon card is I feel. It's everything that you do in private, right? So in tarot, this is associated with Pisces, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune, which is about not having full clarity, because that's what happens with Neptune, right? I always say Neptune is trying to look at reality through a dirty window or through fog. You kind of know it's there, but you can't really make out what's there. It's like, what's real, what's not. You don't really feel very grounded, in this energy. But you're trying to get in touch with yourself in as far as how you want to proceed forward in your career. What is it exactly that you want to do? How do you think this is best handled? And we have the Page of Swords in reverse. So this is a very manipulative energy. First of all, Page is always indicating a new cycle. This could also indicate somebody who's very immature in their communication, and either they're not communicating with you or they're not communicating with you healthily. And so if it's like an unhealthy kind of communication, you can expect some manipulation in this energy, lying through omission, but there being some sort of shady nonsense when it comes to communication, because swords are energy and messages and truth. And in the reverse, you're not getting that, right? You're not getting those truthful messages, that healthy communication, right? And this has to do with this newness. There's this newness here. There's this newness, a new cycle. Now, representing you right now, we have the Lovers reverse. So the Lovers reverse, when it comes to career energy, is you could be involved in a partnership, where you have a business partner, or this can represent both sides of yourself, where you're very conflicted, right? Because the Lovers energy is like basically showing the shadow side of yourself when it comes to this kind of placement within a career. But it's more like you're not able to, you're wrestling with yourself is really what I want to say. You're wrestling with yourself. And you're having a hard time seeing the way forward clearly. Because in the upright, this is like, okay, I see what I have to do, you know, and I'm just going to implement it and do the best I can. I know this isn't perfect, but I'm going to give it my best, right? And in the reverse, it's, I'm really not sure what to do. You know, just really not being sure. Now, this could also indicate you very heavily thinking about somebody external to you that is really mistreating you and is really making a situation impossible for you. Sagittarius, I have to tell you what I'm getting. There's definitely an outside energy here that's inflecting your ability to move forward. Definitely, and I don't feel like it's because of the quarantine and you being held back. That may be a play as well, but I feel like it's a specific energy with this two of coins reverse. And then we have the Lovers reverse. So I feel like it's a particular energy. Now the energy external to you that's inflecting you is the Six of Wands. So somebody external to you is just really looking for success, is really looking for that. Okay? Because the Six of Wands is about success. It's also about respect. So it's like somebody commanding respect and having this success. But this is an external influence to you. So it's kind of like, how do we explain this? Like, you know, because of the Strength card, I'm going to say it's somebody who's very wrapped up in their own success and what they feel they deserve. They're kind of very wrapped up in themselves, and it's not sitting well with you. So we pulled two fear cards for you. We have the Ace of Coins, which is, you know, would indicate a new job offer or a new path not being offered to you. And then we have the Three of Swords reverse, which is, you know, much more positive in the reverse. Three of Swords is a card of pain and betrayal, right? It's a Saturn and Libra energy, and Libra's ruled by Venus, which is one of the money planets. So some sort of betrayal having to do with how you make money. But the truth is going to be coming out here, and you're afraid of that. You're actually afraid of the truth coming out because you're afraid that what's going to happen is that truth is not going to lend to your ability to be able to get either a new job, continue on this path that you're on, whatever this next cycle is. You know, it's one of those situations where you know what it is, but you almost don't want to hear it, you know, because the reality here with whatever position you've been in is the Seven of Coins reversed. This is like the kind of like the Apprentice card, right? You want to think about it as you're putting in the hard work, you know, really putting in the hard work. It's the Saturn and Taurus, and now it's starting to pay off, right? But in the reverse, this is like, all the work I put into this thing, and now I'm not going to get to see the benefits and the fruits of my labor. That's where you're going to be, kind of, you know, in that space. And then in the near future, we have the King of Wands in reverse. So whenever we have Wands in reverse, it indicates delay. It indicates delay, you know. And the thing is, this is a Cancer and Leo energy. So this is another confirmation for me. When we have Leo in reverse, especially in the upright, we always have to deal with Leo, with because what is Leo? Leo wants to be out there front and center. They're a lot of fun. They're ruled by the sun. It's about illumination. But, you know, we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize that it also entails a lot of egotism. There is this desire to be front and center, right? That's what it is. But now here, with the King of Wands energy, because it's a Cancer and Leo in reverse, you have to think about that. Cancer is that metaphorical home space and its safety. Leo reverse is fear at its highest, which comes off as serious ego. So somebody's ego is going to get in the way of you being able to even feel safe. So it's going to cause this delay in you being able to move forward in your career. All right. I mean, this is okay. Listen, this is just for the beginning of May, but can we have some advice, please, for Sagittarius? Because that's not okay, right? That's not okay. Seven of Wands. Good. You know what? You've drawn a line in the sand. You're defending yourself. You might even feel like, you may even be in a space of feeling like you're defending other people that you work for. So this might have been like, if you're in a situation where there was a large furlough, a large layoff, a large firing, something like that. You know, many of you may be in that space with, you know, 23 million people unemployed right now, for sure. However, it doesn't have to mean that. This could just simply mean you really getting into a space of figuring out what it is that you want, right? And not even what you want, what you need, right? This is Mars and Leo. Mars rules Aries. Aries is all about a fresh perspective and a new path and wanting to take that initiative moving forward. And you just being in this space like, enough is enough. This is what I need. And I like that for you because, first of all, you know, you guys are all about belief system, right, Sag? You are. You're about moving forward with integrity. You guys are ruled by Jupiter, you know, and you want to really create that landscape for yourself. And the best way to do that is by making sure that whatever's going on in your career is speaking to your truth. Super important for a Sagittarius. And if you're in something with somebody who has a major ego, that does not jive well with you guys at all. Queen of Swords, good. Yeah, I mean, this is it. Truth, truth, truth. Queen of Swords coming in and slicing it up. Calling them on their stuff as soon as they walk in the room. You know what their intention is, what their motivation is. Your intuition is going to be extremely high right now, which is really good. But I also like the fact that the truth and the reality of the situation is going to be hitting you in a way where you're going to really feel very, very, very motivated to make some pragmatic changes. You're going to realize that whatever this is that you are in is not your truth. This is not meant to be for you. You're not going to have this new beginning. This is not meant for you because there's something being held back from you, whether it's the opportunity, whatever it is. You're dealing with an Emperor reverse energy. Now, if you're dealing with a person who's an Emperor reverse, Sag, you may be dealing with somebody who's very narcissistic, or at least narcissistic in their tendencies having to do with your career. So I wouldn't be surprised because we have the Six of Wands, which is kind of a weird energy to get in this. It's like, look at me, you know, I want to be successful and I want respect and, you know, kind of being in that space. But if you're not dealing with that kind of energy, the Emperor is an Aries energy, and in reverse, Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's all about a fresh perspective and a fresh path moving forward, and really having this deep belly burning desire to have this new initiative and, you know, let's just be very pragmatic and move it forward. You may not be able to have that right now because you're still trying to figure things out. Yeah. So there's going to be some delay in your work right now. There definitely is. And your faith is, you know, Sag, listen, your faith is going to be hit a little bit. And I understand that. I get it. I totally get it. But you want to make sure you don't create any energetic blocks for yourself, right? Because the faith energy is connected to Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is one of the money planets. So you want to make sure that you're not blocking yourself from moving forward. I kind of move into, how do I want to say this? Move into a space of acceptance. And I know that's so much easier said than done, particularly if you're out of work. It's like, oh yeah, easy, you know, that sounds easy, but it's really difficult when I don't have money coming in and I have to like feed my family or pay my rent or whatever it is, pay my mortgage. I understand that completely. But remember, if you spiral down into this negativity rather than taking the bull by the horns and being really proactive, which I know you guys are really, really good at, like attracts like. So you don't want to create all of that negativity and lose faith. You have to just think differently. Think differently. Accept that this is not your path. It's okay. It's okay. And then we have the world energy. And this indicates, I like that this came out. It's still very benefic in the reverse because this indicates, what are you holding on to that you need to let go of? Because as soon as you let go of it, this indicates some sort of ego digging in on your end. What are you not able to let go of from your past and just kind of accept? I mean, really, this is just, we're in the age of acceptance right now. Are we not? Because as soon as you accept whatever it is that's you're holding onto from the past that's not meant to work for you, you're going to release something. You're going to release this energetic block. You're going to release it, yes. And then we have the Knight of Coins. Nice. You know, the Knight of Coins is an offer coming in, right? This is an offer coming in. I like this for you, right? This is a Leo and Virgo energy. This is like Leo, meaning like ruled by the sun, epiphanies coming in, ideas. Because when it's in there with Virgo, Virgo's very pragmatic, ruled by Mercury. It's like, all right, what do we have to do? So these epiphanies are going to be coming to you that you're going to be realizing. And now that's as a situation. If this represents a person, it's somebody coming in and offering you a new position. But as you have to address the world reverse energy first, though. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, move into a state of acceptance, and then this Knight of Coins can come in for you. All right, that is what I have for you guys for career. Okay. All right, I hope that was helpful in some way. Now let's go on to Sagittarius, who are in relationships. Okay. Okay, this is for those of you in relationships or with somebody in your energy field. As remember, I do love-only reads. I'll be doing them next week. I do those once a month. I do for singles for the month, and then I do for couples for the month. The ones that I do in my weekly reads, it's like, you know, whoever comes out. Whichever situation comes out. So I'm going to do a past, present, future, and then some clarifiers, okay? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Justice energy in the past, all in reverse. So Queen of Swords can mean somebody who was either ghosted you, or was being very dishonest, or lying through omission. Anytime the swords are truth, it's an air energy. So whenever the swords are reversed, it can indicate not being in contact with the person, or it can mean that the communication that's going on is either very manipulative, very unclear, there's lying through omission. You know, this is somebody who is also just super unclear in communication, right? Because the Queen of Swords in the upright really has you figured out as soon as you walk in the room. The Queen of Swords reverse, it's very hard to tune into what the reality is, like what's true, what's not. You know, what's true, what's not. And we have the Justice energy. This is a Libra card. Okay, in reverse, the glyph for Libra are the scales, which is all about fairness. It rules the 7th house of relationships and is ruled by Venus, which is about love, you know, love, connected to love, also money, also self-esteem. But in the reverse, it tells me that something was very unfair. Something very unfair was happening here. Then we have the Hierophant energy. The Hierophant is connected to Taurus in astrology. And Taurus is a pentacle energy, but it's ruled by Venus too, which again is about love. So we have 2 Venus energies here. So we have 2 Venus energies in reverse. So there's definitely something that was not fair. Something that was not fair. And when we have the Hierophant reverse, you're thinking about your belief system. You're thinking about, you know, regarding this relationship. You're just thinking about relationships very heavily in the past, Sagittarius. I feel like you're trying to just figure out, like, you know, what's what, where is your place in relationships, what do you really feel, challenging society's view of what relationships are supposed to be, challenging your own initial beliefs of what you thought relationships were supposed to be at one point, because you're feeling the sense of manipulation, you're feeling the sense of unfairness, and you're like, you know, maybe I need to like change my approach, change my strategy, change, you know, what it is that I actually even go after. So that I get in the past, right? Now, right now we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. I like this better in reverse. This is the 3 a.m. card. It's the anxiety, depression, those intrusive thoughts, the ruminating, right? Ruminating, trying to figure out how you're going to actually bring yourself a new path, right? Because it's Mars in Gemini. So Mars being the ruler of Aries, it's about, all right, let's go on this path now. And Gemini is you deep in thought, trying to figure out, all right, how am I going to switch paths? How am I going to do that? But in the reverse, this tells me that the hardest part is over. That you've gone through the most challenging element of it. You went through the most challenging element, you know? So the world reverse, again, you know, still positive in the reverse again, you know, separate, you know, if you guys were sticking around for career, we got this. You know, what is being held on to from the past that needs to be let go of? You know, what's in your way? There's something blocking this from being in the upright. Because the world is everything. The world is, there's history with the world. It sounds silly, but because the world is associated with Saturn. And Saturn rules the past, right? Saturn rules karma and restriction. But the gift, after you go through all of that, after you put in the hard work, Saturn also rules Capricorn, which is all about putting in that hard work. So after you go through all of that hard work and you deal with all of this stuff, the gift is the world on the other side. Biggest gift that you can get. Saturn brings the biggest gifts. But there's something in the way. Now, this could be you not being able to let go of somebody from your past. But there's something in the way that's that's inhibiting this World card from being able to be turned right side up. And the Hermit energy is being very deeply introspective and isolating yourself. Even if you're in quarantine with people, this is you further isolating yourself, meaning in your own mind. This is like the kind of energy where you really you're seeking your own counsel. You're pulling yourself away from things. This often indicates a time of isolation, a time of being alone, a time of just really working things out on your own and trying to figure out what do I want to say? Kind of the landscape of all of it. So I feel like you're working through the anxiety. I feel like there's definitely a past situation going on here. So I do feel like this is one of the love readings that is for those of you Sagittarius friends who are actually not in a solid relationship right now, but are maybe trying to work through or unknot the knot of a past connection that you had. Okay? But I do have here now, this is the future. Queen of Cups is meeting somebody new, right? We like the Queen of Cups. This is a Cancer and Gemini energy. Cancer is that metaphorical home space. It's about love and safety. Gemini is about communication and moving forward, having that Mercury as the ruler, right? So beautiful sharing of love, somebody coming in and really wanting to offer you their emotions here. But then we have the Princess of Swords in reverse. So we have the Princess of Swords in reverse. This is a Taurus and Gemini energy, right? So in the reverse, this is telling me that there may be some manipulation going on with this connection. There could be some sort of manipulation going on here. And then we have the star energy, which is Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is all about shaking things up and doing things differently. And so this tells me that things won't be any different. Okay, hold on. I'm getting then, this Queen of Cups is somebody coming back around in this Venus retrograde season. Yes, but there's going to be some, so don't buy what they are saying. Don't buy what they are saying. You know, I'm feeling this pretty strongly. I mean, we have Taurus reverse. Remember, Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? So Venus is that self-esteem. It's that love. Swords are truth. Swords are communication. In the reverse could be manipulation. So somebody manipulating the reality of something here. Manipulating what they want, being more talk than anything else, not having a lot of follow through, almost like a love bombing energy, dare I say. It's, you know what I mean? That's the kind of energy I get, you know, but things aren't going to be any different. They're not. I mean, when we have the star is a healing energy. It's, you know, again, Aquarius, it's insight plus emotions. It's saying, how are we going to do things differently? Let's do things differently this time. And having it be different, right? But in reverse, it tells me, I feel like you're going to be getting the lip service and they're going to be saying it's going to be different, but it's not. Hardly ever get a reading like this, Sagittarius. Those who've been watching me, but I'm going to give you a little warning. If somebody comes back around, I'm not saying... Well, my advice here is if they're promising you the world and they're saying A, B, and C, just make sure that their walk matches their talk. That's all, because I'm not getting that at will. So you have to be really ready, willing, and able to call them on their stuff. Yeah, but that's what I'm getting. Yeah, it's a pretty clear message. It really is. It's very direct. Very direct. Well, let's pull some clarifiers on the side, and then we'll just match those up as we see fit. Okay. Queen of Coins rather. Princess of Coins reverse. Six of Swords. Four of Coins. All right, I mean, let's start with the Queen of Coins. You know, the Queen of Coins, we have the Queen of Coins here. This is a Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. Sagittarius, you know, you guys are about, again, moving forward with integrity, and Capricorn's about work. So this is about somebody coming in and promising you that they're going to put the work in, and, you know, you guys are going to be able to move forward. There's a lot of promise here. There's a lot of promise here. But then we have the Princess of Coins reverse. So, I mean, yeah. It's the Knight of Pentacles. This is a Leo and Virgo energy. And so whenever we have a Leo energy in reverse, there's always this ego at play. Always this ego at play. And Virgo's ruled by Mercury. So in the reverse, this tells me that they're just not capable of giving you this mental, physical, and emotional connection that it is that you're looking for. Now, money can be an issue at this point, where it ends up being an issue as far as their ego or as far as your ego goes. That is going to resonate with some of you. Some of you are just going to be feeling like they're just not capable of giving me the mental, physical, and emotional connection. They're just not. They're too caught up in their own stuff, like really specifically, like their ego is a thing here for whatever reason. And then there's a moving away. Six of Swords is a moving away. You know, moving away from the toxicity. Yeah, to a different place, right? Mercury in Aquarius. So Mercury is about short distance travel. So it's like, you know, leaving something, going someplace different, right? Aquarius is about doing things out of the box differently than what you're doing now, being ruled by Uranus. So very specifically, it's like going towards a truth that speaks to you more clearly. And then we have you protecting yourself, Four of Coins. You really not feeling, you're not giving your energies in the way that maybe you once did. You're just not. You're not willing to give your energies in the way you once did, because you recognize this is definitely those of you who were in a relationship, it ended, they came back around, they started offering you things, and you recognize that they were not able to show up in the relationship as they were supposed to, and you made the decision to protect yourself, get away from the toxicity, because you just know that they're not going to be able to show up, and you're not willing to open yourself up to the situation anymore. You're just not. Now, for some of you, it could even be, I am feeling that somebody's coming back around because of money, and you're just being like, I don't think so. Because I feel like you're going to smell it. You know what I mean? So we got the Princess of Coins reversed, and then we get the Four of Coins for you here, which is about quite literally protecting your money, holding on to what you have, right? But because coins are also mental, physical, and emotional connection, it can indicate you really holding on to holding on to your heart, holding on to, and really measuring how much you communicate with them and how much you're willing to give. And that does not sit right with them. It's not going to sit right with them. Yeah, so that's what we're going to have for the beginning of May for you guys. Let's see how the rest of the month rolls out next week. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys right now. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.